All right, what is up, everybody? I wanted to quickly hop on here and just talk a little bit about the inner child healing meditation. It seems like people are having very profound experiences with this meditation, and your inner child, it's a divine aspect of you. It's a major aspect of you. It's where most of our subconscious programming gets installed. You want to think of your brain as like a computer with software programs, and they're installed in your subconscious. And from ages 0 to 7, you're essentially under a hypnosis. You're soaking in all of the energy and information from the field around you. So your parents' reactions, your parents' thoughts, beliefs, or your main caretakers at that time. And really it's at ages 0 to 14 where you develop these imprints in your subconscious. So when you start to develop a relationship with your inner child and you connect with him or her, you are connecting with this aspect of you that holds so many answers to the reason why you are the way that you are. Most adults are living out their childhood trauma. Trauma, I use the word trauma really in a sense of just a significant event that imprinted onto your subconscious. So it doesn't mean like a major trauma, major physical trauma. It could be a parent that said no to you too much. It could be one experience where your friend said something to you on the playground. And typically most generally speaking, limiting beliefs, these subconscious programs, boil down to these three things. Feelings of I am not worthy, I am not good enough, and I am not lovable. Typically it boils down to those three things. And I'll be honest, I think most people have at least one of those underlying subconscious beliefs. Now that can play out in a multitude, all kinds of ways in your life. You can show up at your job in a certain way because you've got this feeling of unworthiness, or relationships can mirror back that subconscious belief that we're holding on to. And our life is always mirroring back to us what is going on in our subconscious mind. Our reality is a reflection of what's going on in the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is just replaying out the belief. It's just a repetitive tape player that's being played out. So until you start to take a look at what is going on in this subconscious mind, you're just going to continue to play out whatever the tape player was, whatever tape was put in the tape player, right? So as you build this connection with your inner child through, I've had this inner child healing meditation on my YouTube. If you're interested in it, check it out. People are having some really profound experiences with it. But just setting the intention of connecting with your inner child and just giving him or her a voice, and just pouring love into this aspect of you, being willing to develop this relationship will help you uncover why you have maybe developed these feelings of, or why you have these feelings of unworthiness. If you're feeling unworthy, you want to pinpoint where in my life did I develop this belief that I wasn't worthy. And, again, this can show up in so many different ways in our lives. For me, I had attachments to my worth was around, and my value was attached to my external achievements. I grew up as a competitive athlete, and then I tried to start several businesses after I graduated college. So I was always seeking external success and placing my value on that external success, particularly around my work ethic. Especially growing up as a competitive athlete, and I played Division I tennis, so I completely attached my value to my work ethic because I thought I worked, really hard, and I did. But it drove me into the ground. I took that same belief into my businesses, worked my ass off in my businesses, didn't find the success that I thought was worthy in my businesses and in my tennis career. To be honest, I carried the same exact things that I had in tennis, the same exact belief and programs that I had playing out in my sports life played out in my business life too. And that's the thing, you'll have the subconscious belief will be spread throughout your life. It'll show up in your relationships, it'll show up in your career. So it can play out in a lot of different ways, but you want to find, all right, what's the pattern here? And then what is the root of this pattern? And, the symptoms can be relationship issues. It can be go attracting the same type of dude that's not treating you right. It could be you seeking a career because you think that it is going to bring you the success that your parents, led you to believe that you need, yada, 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 whatever the thing is. This can be financial issues. There's so many ways that these limiting beliefs can play out in our lives, but you want to get down to the root of what is the root underlying limiting belief here. What led me to believe that I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, or I'm not good enough, and pouring love into that. Pouring love into your inner child and saying, we are good enough. We are worthy. It doesn't matter what external achievements we have. And then you start to, a part of this too is societal conditioning. We've had very strong societal conditioning typically passed down to us through our parents because they had societal conditioning too. And by the way, when you're doing all of this work, your inner child healing work, and you start to uncover some things around your parents and whatever it is, if you're pulling up some memories, understand that your parents were doing the best that they could with what they had. So you never want to come at them with judgment. They were doing the best that they could. And if you feel these feelings come up of anger, of sadness, of resentment for your parents, honor those feelings for sure. But then go to a practice such as Ho'oponopono, a Hawaiian forgiveness practice, so that you can release that resentment and release that anger. Because that's not the point of this healing. You don't want to pull up resentment and anger and be holding on to that. You want to be able to move through that. And forgiveness is always really for yourself. It's not necessarily for the other person. And you can do that internally. You don't have to go to the other person and say, hey, Mom, you really hurt me when I was 5 years old. Let's hash this out. You don't need to do that. It can be an internal thing. You can process all this. But if you feel the need to have a conversation about whatever comes up, then by all means, really trust your intuition throughout this whole process. Trust every single emotion that comes up. Don't deny the emotions. Don't try to suppress the emotions. Allow them to come up, because there's an energetic healing component that's happening here. And you might be pulling up some suppressed emotions that have been with you this whole time, but you have yet to give yourself the opportunity to express and feel those emotions. So as you start doing energy healing in general, you are uncovering some stuck energy within you. And these are just experiences. You can think of them as, this as like consciousness that's held within you. And, often a lot of chronic disease, chronic ailments are related to unresolved trauma or stuck emotion. So as you start to bring this emotion up, it just has to be expressed. It has to be felt. And by you giving yourself permission to feel all of the emotions that are coming up, you are doing the work to release them. And throughout this entire process, be incredibly gentle with yourself. Hold immense amount of self-compassion. Hold as much as you can. Be pouring unconditional love in your heart, opening up your heart throughout this. The inner child healing meditation that I have, I'm having you pour unconditional love into this aspect of you. And really, that's what your inner child is wanting more than anything. They're like, hey, give me a bone here. And a lot of us have just, part of this is societal conditioning. We grow up too fast. We're taught to not love this aspect of you that's also connected to our playfulness, our creativity. This aspect of you is a key to manifesting the life that you want. Unconditional love, playfulness, creativity, those are three massive ingredients in manifesting the life that you want. And it's linked to worthiness. That's the fourth ingredient. Feeling worthy of the feelings that you're wanting. When you're manifesting something, you're really just wanting the feelings of the thing that will get you whatever it is. You're wanting those emotions. And a lot of times we just want to feel lovable, we want to feel loved, and we want to feel worthy. That's usually what a lot of this stuff comes down to. So I try this inner child healing meditation out if you feel called to, or look up some other people who I love on Instagram is Dr. Nicole Lepera, the holistic psychologist. She has incredible work on reparenting yourself, healing your inner child. And she takes a very complex thing and makes it very simple. And really, this is the whole process of reparenting yourself. You know, you're having to look at, all right, I realized that I really was missing this in my childhood. How can I give this to myself now? How can I find forgiveness for those that wronged me or hurt me during this time? And it's really just starts with the willingness to connect with this aspect of you, and the willingness to give him or her a voice, to develop a relationship, and then you'll start to recognize, oh, okay, I'm getting triggered in my relationship because little Hannah was really not feeling heard in this moment. And that's the other thing. A big part of this is just not feeling seen or feeling heard. So those are the other parts of the limiting beliefs and subconscious programs that a lot of things boil down to, is not feeling seen and not feeling heard. And as a kid, that can happen often. That can happen, you know, most of us, I'd say, I'm just going to go ahead and say everybody has some form of childhood trauma, right? And that's just a significant event that imprinted on you. So really your inner child is just wanting to be seen and wanting to be heard right now. So when you're feeling triggered in your career, in your relationships, it's typically just that aspect of you that's needing a little bit of love. So again, just building the relationship with him or her, having the willingness to breathe some energy into him or her, and she or him will start talking to you and telling you, all right, we're needing this right now. Or, you know, you'll start to figure out, all right, I'm being triggered, and it's not the other person. By the way, our triggers are our messengers letting us know what aspects of us need to be healed. Our triggers, if you're triggered by someone and you've got a strong emotional charge around it, it's a very good indication that there's something within you that needs to be healed. It's not the other person. Obviously, sometimes it is, but more often than not, it's always you, especially if there's an emotional charge there. So the more that you can look at yourself, look at all aspects of yourself, love all aspects of yourself, love your shadows, right? Your darkness, your insecurities. Be willing to look at these things. It's not easy. And this takes time. You know, doing this meditation one time, you might have a profound experience, but this is a process. It's a healing process. It's a journey. I would recommend coming back to this meditation at least once a week, and journaling throughout this process, writing out what emotions you're feeling, writing out what things you are uncovering about yourself to help you heal it and process it and understand it at a deeper level. I would highly encourage keeping a journal by your side when you do this meditation and writing out what comes up for you in it, because it'll help it sink in a little bit more. So let me know how this goes. You know, I really appreciate your feedback. I really appreciate you guys commenting and letting me know what's coming up for you. You know, I'm here to support you guys. I'm here with you. I'm doing all this with you too at the same time as well. So I fully understand it, and you know, I really appreciate this community that I'm building, by the way. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Be sure to take care of your body while you're doing all this work too. Drink plenty of water. You're moving a lot of energy around, so you want to support your body in cleansing itself while it's cleansing the energy too, right? Our body's always talking to us, by the way. Our body is a representation of our subconscious mind. It's the connection to our spirit. The more that we can come back into our physical body, ground ourselves back into our physical body and ask, body, what are you trying to tell me right now? Or what's up? It will talk to you. It will talk to you. But that's a practice like anything else. All of this is a practice. It takes time. It's usually not a one and done thing. So give yourself time, rest when your body's asking you to rest. Drink water. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves.